So, you guys know what inequalities are? Have you dealt with them before?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like Algebra 1? Geometry? Okay. So, you guys know how test points work?
Yep.
If you plug a point in and it works, so like if you get down to 2 is bigger than 0, that's true, right? If it works or if it's true, then that's the part you shade. Okay? So like here, 0, 0 works, so you shade the part that is true. Okay? Graphing lines should be about the same as what we've been doing before. We have dash lines, like the one on the left, solid lines like the one on the right. If it is not equal to, that's your dash lines. So like less than or greater than, those are dashed. Your equal to's are solid. So we'll use dashed. You can try to follow, like less than, you should shade under your line. Greater than, you should shade above. I always just make sure, use my test point to double check. But if you want to do that, you can do that too. So it says circle inequalities that have a dash boundary line. We're just going to do the dash ones. Which ones are going to have dash? Does y less than 3x have dash line? Yeah, why? Because it's less than, it's not equal to. Does the middle, or the second one? No, that'd be a solid. What about the third one? No, that's a solid. And the last one? Yeah. So you can kind of think of it like if it has a line under it, then you have a solid line. Alright. Questions so far? Also make sure when we write lines that we draw arrows on them. Otherwise, you'll probably get docked for that. Lines long forever. Alright, problem 2 says, what is the graph of the inequality y is greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 1?
Solid line.
Solid, because we got an equal to part. I say we graph it. How's that?
Sure.
Graph it just like we did in the beginning stuff. Your intercept is plus 1. Your slope is negative 2, so I'm going down 2 over 1. Plot a couple. Then we said it's a solid line. If I plug 0, 0 in, so I have 0 greater than or equal to negative 2 times 0 plus 1. Just plug your 0, 0 in for x and y. If I simplify, I get 0 is greater than or equal to 1. Is that true?
No.
No. So 0, 0 is false, so we shade the other half. So 0, 0 does not satisfy. So it should be shaded above. This one, it's kind of easy to tell. It says y should be greater than or equal to. So shading above the line kind of makes sense. Sometimes when we get like vertical lines, that's especially when I would test it. Questions so far? Yeah, when you shade, doesn't need to be like pitch dark. I feel like 8th graders have a big problem with that. Like if you draw like a squiggle, like that's fine. I can tell. Alright, inequality y is greater than 3x minus 1. First off, dashed or solid? Dashed. Let's graph it. Y-intercept minus 1. Positive 3 slopes, so up 3. Right 1. And then
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
make sure it's dashed, dotted, whatever. Then we gotta pick a side to shade. So 0, 0 you can use. I don't know, sometimes I don't like to pick close ones because it's not as obvious. What do you guys want to do? Use 0, 0?
Yeah.
Okay. So 0, 0 is on the left half of our line. So 0 greater than 3 times 0 minus 1. Is 0 bigger than negative 1?
Yes.
Yeah, so it works, so we shade that half of it. Doing okay? Alright, we got 2x minus 3y is greater than 6. What do you think I should do?
Well, there's X over 7 and
Yeah, I want y by itself. That's how I like to graph. You can graph by yourself like that, that's fine. So we got minus 3y is bigger than negative 2x plus 6. Question, I want to divide by what? Negative 3. If I divide by negative 3, do you guys remember what happens to your sign? Yeah, you just flip it. If you divide by a negative, flip your sign. So it turns into y is less than 2/3 x minus 2. And then graph that. So down 2, up 2, over 3. What kind of line should I have? Dotted, dashed. Zero zeros, not on my line, so I'm gonna use it. 2 times 0, 0. 3 times 0, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. Is 0 bigger than 6? No. So I shade opposite 0, 0. Okay. Questions so far?
So how do you tell which side you shade?
So if it works, then you shade it. If you plug 0 in, so 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0, this is all 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is 0 bigger than 6? No. So here's 0, 0. Since that's not true, we shade opposite.
So if it is true, then you shade that side.
Yep. So you always shade what's true. So like this would be false, shade what's true. Does that answer? Okay. Alright. Now we got a little fun problem. Oh, too much. It says map shows the number of tickets needed for small or large rides at the fair. You do not want to spend more than $15 on tickets. How many small or large rides can you ride? FYI, you can buy 60 tickets with $15. So we gotta define our unknowns. X, we're just gonna call our smaller rides, meaning Y is our large rides. How many tickets do small rides take?
3,
How many do big rides take?
5.
5.
So you can
So we can do what? What are you thinking?
do 6 large rides and 2 small rides.
Oh, you already have a whole answer? Oh my gosh. I was just thinking about inequality. So what's the maximum amount of tickets I have?
60.
60, yeah. I have $15, which gives me 60 tickets. So can I be bigger than that?
No.
No. So am I going to have a less than or equal to 60 or a greater than or equal to 60?
Less than.
Less than
That's
or equal to. Okay. Now I want any combination of my small rides and my large rides. So if I have X, how many tickets does X take? 3. And my large takes 5. Does that inequality make sense?
Mhm.
Because I can have, if I don't want to write any small rides, I can have 0 here, right? Or if I don't want any large rides, I can have 0 here. Okay. Let's do this one with intercepts. I think that'll be easier. On my graph, I'm going to go up by 2. Otherwise, we're not going to fit it all in. So, if I plug a 0 in for x, is that my x-intercept or y-intercept? If x is 0.
X's.
If x is 0, that's right here, right? So that'd be my y-intercept. So I have this, if I plug in 0 for x, right? So what is y, if I solve that?
12.
12? You don't need the less than or equal, that's fine. So I'm going to go up 12 on my y-axis. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And I'm going to do the same thing with y. If I cover up y, I have 60 equals 3x, and I get 20. So I go out 20. I'm less than or equal to, so I have a straight line, solid.
Can't see.
Sorry. Am I shading above or below that? Below, yeah. You don't need to shade all the other 3 because can't have negative tickets. If you did, that's fine, but just future reference. So anything on this line, I can have a combo of. So my 2 intercepts are when I have no small rides or no large rides, and anything else on there is a combination of both. We good there? Okay. I think this is our last page. Yeah. Alright. Graphing absolute value inequalities. Absolute values, remember, are our V shapes. On this first one, 1 minus y is less than absolute value of x plus 2. We want to get y by itself. So plus y, and then subtract the other stuff. So you'd have negative absolute value x plus 2 plus 1. So kind of a recap. Our plus 1 brings me up 1. My plus 2 left 2. So my vertex is going to be at negative 2, 1. What does the negative do? Out front. Makes it go down. We got a caret instead of a V. Okay? My dashed or solid? Dashed. Well, let's fill this in. So vertex, negative 2, 1. Our slope of our right is what? We know it's negative. What's the number out front if there's nothing there? 1. So we're going down 1, right 1, and then down 1, left 1. Say what? And then we said we want it dashed. Should have done that. Okay, now we gotta check where we're gonna shade. So 0, 0, we know for sure is up here. It's not on the line or anything. So let's plug that in. If I plug 0 in for x, on the left-hand side, I get negative 2 plus 1, right? And then on the right, I just get 0. So is negative 1 less than 0? Yeah. So this is true. This works. So it's true. So we shade on the outside of our absolute value. Questions? Okay, last one. Write an inequality for the graph to the right. Is it a V? Yeah, so I know we got absolute values. So I'm gonna have a Y. I'm gonna have an absolute value. Vertex is right here. What is that point?
3, -2.
3, -2. So where do I put that 3? Inside my absolute values, right?
Yeah.
Is my sign plus or minus?
Minus.
Minus, what am I doing with that? -2? Tack 2 on at the end. The slope of my line, up 1 over 1, so slope is 1. So do I need to put a negative out there or anything? No, it's going up. Last thing we gotta talk about is it greater than, less than, equal to? It's dashed line, so we know it's not equal to, right? Let's throw in a test point. 0, 0. Does 0, 0 work or does it not work? It does not work. It does not work because the other stuff's shaded. So I have 0. If I plug 0 in here, I get -3. Absolute value -3 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. So if I did this, that works, right? And we don't want it to work, so we want to go the other way.